So who is it the most that you trust in life? And do you have those periods of doubt and wonder when you get kind of cynical and you're not even sure who to trust anymore? You know, who's speaking the truth and who's not? I don't know about you, but I so desperately want to trust people to the point of being naive and sometimes stupid. But it feels good to trust, and it feels good to be trusted. I remember one incident, this is a lifetime ago, it was in my first house, and I was having the carpet put in. And the carpet guys came, and I got an emergency phone call. And I was alone, and I was going to be gone the whole day, it turned out. So the carpet guys come, and I give them the key to the house. And I say, I'm not going to be here, I'll settle up with you tomorrow. There's coffee on, there's pop in the refrigerator. If you have to sign out at the end of the day and you want a cold beer, it's all there, but I ain't going to be here. So the next day they came to finish the job, and they said, what do you do for a living? And I said, I'm a pastor of a small church. And he said, you must be, because nobody lets us be alone in our house anymore. And I'm not sure if that was trust or just being lucky. I want to trust our leaders. I want to trust our heroes. I want people to trust in me. And of course, I want to trust in you, which I do. I think of all the people that coach and teach our kids. I think of the bus driver who comes by our house every morning. I think of the doctors and the surgeons and all those people where you entrust your health care, your financial advisor, your pastor. You know, trust is really at the very heart of who we are. But sometimes we lose that trust, and sometimes people betray us, and maybe even we once in a while betray the trust that people put in us. But I think most of all, we probably need to trust ourselves. I think of all of the decisions you've had to make this year that you probably didn't think you'd have to make. And at the very foundation is that trust that we have, hopefully, in each other. On the one hand, this past year, I've never doubted myself more. The moments of anxiety and uncertainty, whether I'm doing the right thing. And yet, at the same time, I've never trusted more. Because I know, as your minister and just as a human being, that if it wasn't for my family, if it wasn't for people like you, if it wasn't for the church, I never would get through this journey. And so to some extent, I doubt myself more, but I also trust others more. And somehow in the middle of all that, that's where we live. You know, I hear the words of the gospel lesson for this morning where Jesus says this. He says, I am the good shepherd, and I am willing to die for my people. In other words, Jesus is willing to give it his all, which he did. And then he says, I am willing to give up my life because in giving up my life, I get my life back. I really believe that our trust needs to be grounded in this higher power that we call God. That God is the good shepherd, and he gives it all for us. And whatever we go through in life, even if it doesn't go our way, the good shepherd is there walking with us every step. And what is the key to getting our life back? The key is to give unto others. Because when we lose ourselves in other people, when we sacrifice from the inside of us to make the world better for somebody else, that's when we discover who we really are. And that's what the Good Shepherd teaches us. I'm thinking of some of God's sheep today. I'm thinking of Todd and Dawn Sally and Shirley and their new granddaughter, great-granddaughter. I think of Phil and Nicole, who I married a little over a year ago. Little Madeline comes into the world. What a gift. And she's 5 weeks early, so a little fragile. And she's at one hospital, and mom's at another. But they'll get back together. But they're in God's hands, and your hands too. And we know that the Good Shepherd will be with them every step of the way. I think of Stephanie, one of the angels among us, who in her own way is trying to understand the passing of her dad. And she's special needs. And yet right now she has special needs. And those needs are us and you and me and the church that she's learned to love. And you know, Stephanie and your mom, as we give unto you, then we really discover who we are. And we get a whole lot back. And there's also family out there, a friend of Dominic, who's grieving the loss of their 27-year-old daughter. And yet somehow in the giving of her friends and family, that's where the Good Shepherd comes alive. The flowers on the altar today, they speak of memories and spirits and people that are loved. You know, Len Sidkowski and the Hoffman family and Jerry's 89th birthday. And I think of Jesus' words, "The Father loves me because I am willing to give up my life that I may get my life back again." I often wonder who I can trust, but trust begins by giving back. It's like that Good Shepherd is a saddle horse and carries us on his back. And that's the reminder that the Good Shepherd gives us every day. And that promise gets us through. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed.